This is the best story I have. So, I'm 18 years old. I live in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a senior in high school. It's Thanksgiving. I had just started dating this girl named Christy in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. And I would go down to her house just about every weekend, sleep on her parents' couch, and we'd spend the weekend together. Well, it's Thanksgiving weekend this time, so I go to my grandparents' house and have like a really early like Thanksgiving Day breakfast with them and my family. And then I'm like, I'm going to Christy's house for the rest of the weekend because it's a long weekend and like we get to be together and it's awesome. And so I start driving to Illinois and I suddenly blow a tire on just as I enter into Rockford. So I get over on the side of the road, I get out my tire iron, and no, I didn't get out my tire iron. I got out the jack and then find that my sister had taken my tire iron. So I couldn't change the tire. I sat on the side of the road for 3 hours because my dad was like, it's Thanksgiving. I'm not coming to help until I finish my Thanksgiving meal. I don't blame him. But finally an Illinois toll worker truck comes by and he changes my tire for me. Get down to Illinois. It is like 5 o'clock in the evening at this point. Dinner's been over for a while. I ring the doorbell. Her cousin Matthew opens the door, and he's 4 years old, and the first thing he does is just punch me right in the crotch. It's a perfect ending to a perfect day. You just can't get any better than that. And so then, we spend the weekend together, and it's Thanksgiving weekend, and so there's a lot of food involved. You're eating a lot. Now, something that you should know about me, and I think it's probably something that, if we're all honest, it's true of all of us. I don't like pooping in other people's bathrooms. Especially the bathroom of a brand new girlfriend who lives in a house that is no bigger, maybe a little bit bigger than this kitchen. It is a small, tiny house. And the bathroom is right next to like the main like area. And there's no fan. And there's no tub to turn on. So I go 3 days just holding it. Just clenching for dear life, right? The best thing about having a girlfriend in Chicago, the Chicagoland area, the best thing about that when you don't like to poop in other people's houses is on the way back there's a thing called the Belvidere Oasis. The Belvidere Oasis is great because it's got a gas station, it's got Panda Express. At the time it had Krispy Kreme donuts. It was awesome. It had bathrooms, a men's room and a women's room, and then it had 2 glorious bathrooms called the family bathroom, where you can take your family for some reason, I assume. So before I get to Belvidere Oasis, I fill up with some gas right by my girlfriend's house, and I bought a Dr. Pepper. Then I get on the interstate, and I open the Dr. Pepper, and it had been shooken up. So shooken or shaked? Whatever. Gets all over my hands. Don't have anything to like wash and dry my hands with, so it just dries and gets sticky on my hands. So now I've got 2 reasons I'm excited to get to that family bathroom, because my hands are sticky and the other thing. And so I get to the Belvidere Oasis. You know the thing, that weird body thing where as you get closer to a toilet that you will use, things like just start loosening up. And like every quarter mile, it's like, oh, clench a little harder. And so I am just ripped to get to the Belvidere Oasis. I cannot contain myself, literally. So I get to the Belvidere Oasis, I slam it and park, barely even turn off my car. And I like get out, and I am walking like this, because all you can do is waddle when it's been 3 days. So I get in, I go to the family bathroom, open the door. The greatest thing about the family bathroom is the outside door locks. You can lock that door, the sink, the urinal, the stall. You're alone, unless you have your family with you. So I go into this bathroom, I lock that door, I turn on the water and wash my hands because nobody wants to do what I'm about to do with sticky hands. And I don't know why I did this, but I, for some reason, took the time to adjust my hair, kind of like splash some water on my face, and admire myself in the mirror. And have you ever had one of those days where you're really feeling yourself? Well, I was having one of those days. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and just like this, I said, "You look good." And then I turned to the stall, because that's why I'm here, let's be honest. I turn and I push. The door is stuck. It happens. It's an old bathroom. Push a little harder. Door is still stuck. I then pound on the door, because I'm impatient now. It's been 3 fucking days. Door still won't open. So then I take this hand and I wrap it up here on top of the door. And then I take my second hand, I see what I did there, and wrap it around the top of the door as well. And then in this voice, violently shake the door and say, "Open up!" And I heard, "Hee." And that's when I realized this door is not stuck. This door is locked. And you know how a bathroom stall, they have that space in between the door and the rest of the stall? If you kind of do one of these, you can see everything. So I did one of these, and there's just this tiny, little, feeble old woman shaking in a ball on the toilet. And I am fucked. Everything replays in my head. She hears the door open, she hears it close and lock. She hears this sicko wash his hands for some reason and say, "You look good." And then a psychopath tries to break down the door of the stall that she is occupying. Everything that has transpired adds up to sexual assault. And I realize this as an 18-year-old, fresh-faced, barely can grow a beard kid. And I'm like, I don't want to go to Chicago jail. So who cares about a clench at that point? I ran as fast as I could out of that family bathroom, past the Krispy Kreme donuts, past the Panda Express, and into the other family bathroom, where I was finally able to grace the throne, as it were. And then I finished up. I'll spare you the details. And then I get in line for Krispy Kreme donuts, because who doesn't want a dozen Krispy Kremes after that? So I'm standing there in line. I'm like, let's see, do I want just the glazed? Do I want a sprinkle? I don't know. The glazed are pretty good just plain. So, and then I kind of like turn, and beelining towards me is this little feeble old woman. I'm like, but I stayed there because donuts are good. That's my story. Thank you.